All right, dropping logs once again. It's been a little while, a couple of weeks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to react to this video that I've been seeing going around. I think it's a video from like a year ago. It's a Berklee School of Music, the faculty jam, and people have been talking about like how bad the playing is in this video. And I saw a clip, and it seems it doesn't look great. Or it doesn't sound great. I'll say that it's not what you would really. I don't know. It's not what you'd maybe want from the Berklee faculty staff. I don't know. Maybe this is what you should expect though, from a bunch of jazz weirdos, you know. But I will say that I have a feeling that my opinion is going to be a little bit more favorable than most regarding this video, because I kind of like the whole, you know, dissonant, a little bit more free kind of jazz. Maybe not exactly free jazz, but, you know, some kind of, but definitely the more out there end of the jazz fusion spectrum, right? I like my John Scofield, you know, Mahavishnu Orchestra with John McLaughlin, Miles on Bitches Brew. I'm into all of that. I even like a bit of Sun Ra, you know, so I can get down with the really like weird out there kind of stuff. But let's get into it, see what it's about. It was pretty hard to find this video, so let's appreciate this or not, who knows. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so this is the Berklee School of Music faculty guitar quartet. So I'm guessing it's the four guitar teachers, maybe the senior guitar teachers, judging by the look of them, probably the senior guitar teachers at Berklee, performing this piece, All the Things You Are, right? So this is not a piece that I'm overly familiar with. I did listen to it a little bit before coming into this video because I heard that that's what they had played. But this is the first time I'm going to hear their version in full from start to finish. I've heard the original, the Joe Kern composition. I think it was sung by Ella Fitzgerald, if I remember correctly. And of course, as soon as I saw there was a John Scofield version, I went and listened to that as a fan of Scofield myself, and Coltrane as well. So I have listened to those three versions in preparation for this. So far, it doesn't sound terrible. Maybe not as clean as I would expect from, you know, the faculty at a prestigious music school, but let's keep listening. So it's definitely strange, right? It's not harmonic in the way that most people are used to hearing. It's got a little bit of a dissonance to it, a very strange kind of harmonic quality going on. I'm used to hearing this kind of thing because I like a lot of the weirder jazz, like I said. So far, it's not that bad. You know, with this kind of music, sometimes like the rhythm is really hard to latch onto. I'm trying to trying to lock in with the rhythm guitar, but they seem to be switching between rhythm and lead every couple of bars, and they both have a different way of playing the rhythm as well, at least to my ear. So it is kind of hard to lock in. There's nothing grounding you. But that's just the first couple of bars, you know. The rhythm section hasn't really kicked in, the bass and the drums. So what I'm hoping for is that when those guys come in, it's really gonna solidify. You know, I'm on these guys' side. You know, uh, I want to think that everyone is wrong about how bad this is. Okay, so I will say though that a lot of the off notes, right, playing outside the scale kind of stuff, I feel like at least this older guy with the Les Paul, he doesn't seem to be hitting those notes with the right amount of conviction. So it sounds like mistakes. A lot of sort of half fretted notes in here and there. Not that many, but it seems like sometimes he's aiming for a different note than the one he's landing on, which is not what you want when you're doing this kind of music, because the line between it sounding intentional and it sounding like a mistake is very fine. I kind of it's funny, but I do like it. I like little silly runs like that. What can I say? Also, it's very strange to see someone playing a double neck guitar in a jazz band. Like, what is this, Jimmy Page? I don't understand. It's so bizarre. But you know, this guy, he might just be like the height of jazz weirdo. Maybe that's what this is. I want to see if he's gonna hit that upper neck at any time, or if this is just like a new layer of jazz pretentiousness. Ah, man. I want to be on, like I said, I want to be on these guys' side, but there's so many things happening that just like reeks of jazz weirdo. Let's let's keep going. Yeah, look, I'm a whammy bar addict myself, so I can't really fault him on the whammy bar volume swells. Just let him do his thing, I guess. See, this sounds pretty cool actually. Now that the drums are holding it down and the bass is establishing a more solid chord progression in the background, and now these guys can do their weird thing, you know. Like jazz, especially this kind of jazz, you have to be so careful between the line of being like genius and just absolute like trash, you know. This is why I don't play jazz usually, you know. I'm more of a blues guy, because blues, it really it's a very forgiving style of music. You know, it's simple, it's beautiful, it's it gives you a lot of room just to be dynamic. If you look at it like this, right? If blues is like the perfect toasted sandwich, right? It's delicious every single time. It's made with simple ingredients. It's a easy to follow procedure to make it. You know, the recipe. You don't even need you don't even need to learn it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get me. Jazz, Jazz is like an artisanal sourdough with 4 cheeses: tomato, onions, garlic, relish, kimchi, all kinds of exotic fragrant spices, cigarette ash, all squeezed together and fried in the runoff from Miles Davis's spit valve, right? You better get that combination really good or no one's going to eat it. And even when you get it right, only a select few with your kind of like jazz weirdo palate will get it and will enjoy it. So you have to be careful. And these guys, they at some point seem to be riding the line, right? So there might be too much cigarette ash, kimchi, and Miles Davis spit valve runoff in what they're doing. But let's see if they can get the blend of cheeses right and deliver something that someone can eat. Okay, so he is playing the second neck. Looks like he's doing something more subdued on that one, right? At least from what I'm hearing of the first half a note. They do seem to be going for like a John Scofield kind of interpretation of the song. In a way, it's actually even more straightforward than the Scofield version. There's a much more identifiable rhythm that you can actually like bob your head to. The guitars they don't sound that bad. I feel like that little clip out of context sounds really bad, especially to a non-jazz audience. So let's move on and hear what else they've got. Okay, so you see, I think that actually works pretty well with him just doing with, double neck guy doing ambient volume swells and things like that. That gives Grandpa more space to do his weird atonal runs and things like that. But yeah, look, I do see how the atonality can be extremely off-putting to a lot of people. I think a lot of where the problems come in is when we have too many people doing weird things at once, right? You can't have both guitarists going Looney Tunes at the same time. At least if you do, I don't know, it's just so hit or miss. It's a much safer bet to have one guy doing something a little bit more subdued. Like if Grandpa over there is going whatever, like doing his little weird mix of blues and jazz and whatever else dementia, I don't know, comes out of his mind. The other dude needs to be just more locking in with the bass, right? Or doing his ambient thing, but not going woo 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 at the same time. They're like fighting for our attention instead of taking turns and going back and forth with each other. That was a pretty good little part. I like that. Grandpa with his runs, and then they kind of locked in together. That was pretty cool. I think this is overhated. Some kind of change now? Is it going to change up? What's going to happen? I hope they do the John Scofield thing, where it goes into more of a like a, you know, something nice and solid with a driving guitar riff as a bridge or something like that. There's a great section like that in the Scofield version. Okay, so I see. So it's 2 and 2, right? They're going off in pairs. Now it's Grandma and Headless. You know, it's I guess it's their turn. I will say, they definitely have a smoother tone going to them. I think it might have been Grandpa. His tone was like kind of harsh in comparison to everyone else. These two, their tone has like this more liquid kind of quality to it. But, oh, and also they have less of that problem where they sound like they're making mistakes. It sounds a lot more intentional and clean, right? But the irony is that it actually sounds less interesting to me. I was enjoying the weird part that everyone was making fun of those two guys. I was enjoying that more, to be honest. But it's not bad by any means. It's good. It's good. Like the bassist is just having a snack in the middle of all of this, just chewing on something. See, I feel like this whole section was actually more appealing for your average listener. But of course, the worst part of the whole video is the one that got the most attention. Okay, yes, this is what I was waiting for. So Grandpa has the goods, after all. See, I see what's happening here. Grandpa's a jazz rocker, okay? He's not playing the same style that everyone else is playing. Everyone else is a lot smoother, and at least the two on the right are a lot smoother. We've got Grandpa, the jazz rock guy, and we've got Double Neck, he's just like the weird cousin. Yeah, he's Grandpa's weird cousin who came along, both looking like Right Said Fred, or that maybe they're doing their best John Scofield impression, you know. But this part is, if they pull this off, this could save the whole thing in anyone's mind. Let's see what they do with it. there it is. That was sick. They hit that groove, and it sounded great, man. Like, why? I think the two main issues with this jam are, one, that Grandpa seems to be kind of like the arthritis is setting in. He's not hitting the notes as I assume he would in his prime, right? He sounds like he's missing notes here and there. He sounds like not every note is fretted properly. His playing isn't as clean as Grandma and Headless. And then the other problem is that Double Neck is doing all these weird little like whoop, 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 whoop things, which I think sounds cool, but maybe it's too frequent, but it's definitely not what most people are gonna think sounds good, because it sounds kind of like a joke, you know? But for me, I've been listening to Primus and Frank Zappa for so long, and The Residents, that sometimes I like laughing at the music that I enjoy. I like it when it sounds kind of funny sometimes. There's like 20 seconds of this left. They're probably just gonna hit the ending right now. I wish they sat on that jam for longer, you know. But let's let them finish it out. So yeah, I think definitely Overhated. I'd listen to that again. I enjoyed it. I think if they had Grandpa 10 years younger, he would have nailed every single part. It would have been an impeccable jam. But like I said, this kind of music is not appealing to non-jazz guys. So I can understand why people think it sounds a lot worse than it actually is. Yeah, I'm down with it, you know. Pretty good after all. Not quite what I was expecting. I thought I was going to be making fun of these guys a lot more, but they were good. I think it was dope. And you have to remember that jazz is it can be very academic, right? And navel gazy. Jazz is like if the blues put on a really nice pair of shoes and got a university degree, but a degree in like philosophy or something. So this dude's got he's got his head in the clouds and his eyes in his navel at the same time all the time. And that's what jazz music can be. It's got that within its tradition. And that's where these guys are. They're on the very academic, navel-gazy end of the jazz spectrum. Not as far as you can go into it. It can get a lot more atonal and loose rhythmically, to the point where you can't follow the rhythm at all, which I think was what really saved. If that drummer wasn't as agile or as precise as he was, because I didn't hear any mistakes from the drummer. The drummer was doing incredibly well, and the bass player too. He somehow managed to eat and nail the bass line throughout the whole performance. That did them a lot of favors. You know, it gives the guitarists space to do these weirdo things. But if they had gone in the navel-gazy direction as well, then you would really hear what everyone thinks they were hearing. But yeah, that's the unfortunate effect of this kind of music. It's a little bit more cerebral than it maybe needs to be, and that's gonna get derision, you know. It's just the way it is. So I think the lesson to learn from all of this is that if you're a jazz weirdo and you want to make music, I think the right thing for you to do is to just realize, your father will never be proud of you. You might as well just give up the jazz, put down whatever instrument you're playing, and go back to your career in accounting. All right? At least you won't look out of place there, unlike these jazz guys do amongst most other musicians. Yeah. Again, I thought it was great. I loved it. There were some problems with it that everyone seemed to have focused on, but it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. So that's the Berklee Faculty Jam, man. So what have I been up to myself personally? I've got some projects in the works. Me and one of my old friends, that I've known from way back, like primary school, high school. We've been friends and making music together. We haven't made any music together in a long time, and we have just started working on a new project. He has come out of his musical hibernation after many years, and we're gonna work on putting out some of his music, and we'll release it on our little indie label and put it up on our website. I'll put the links in the description to the website and what we've released on there so far. We've got some cool things coming down the pipeline that's going to go with that EP of his. I won't share any of that yet because it's pretty much, just his work that I'm contributing to. So I don't want to put out any spoilers just yet. And other than that, I haven't really done much. It's been a fairly unproductive week. I don't really have that much to show for it. But in the upcoming week and beyond, I hope to do a lot. What I have been doing is I've been practicing. There's one song that I've been working on, which is Malted Milk by Robert Johnson, somewhat inspired by the Eric Clapton version, which I'll play for you guys after this. But I'm working on that because I kind of want to try, just hanging out at the music store on a Saturday morning and just playing a song or two, going in, picking a guitar and an amp to try out, play a song or two, just jam it out, call it a gig, put it back up. Maybe I'll record it and post it over here, and then just buying whatever equipment I need and going. Like maybe once or twice a month I'll do that. And I think I've got the first song more or less ready, which is the Robert Johnson song. That's the one thing I've been working on. I at least come home and play it through at least twice when I get home from work. I just need to just really perfect my execution of it, but I've got all the parts properly worked out. Got the lyrics more or less memorized. Yeah. So let's get to that then. I think that's all there's left to do before we say goodbye.